Medigap changes for 2020 and what to expect for increases in Medicare Part B for 2020 and 2021. Brought to you by my man J.O. at MaximizeYourMedicare.com. MaximizeYourMedicare.com and via his newsletter. His newsletter he sends out basically every week, and you need to sign up for it. And I'll show you how here in just a second. So let's start with we'll start with a simple one. Medicare Part B premiums going up in 2020 and 2021. So Jay expects that the annual Medicare trustee report, you can see the immediate estimates below. Estimated Part B premiums to be $144.30, and right now they're at $135. So we take our trusty calculator, $144.30, subtract $135. That's a $9.3 increase from $135. That's a 6.8% increase. And then it'll be $6 from $144. That's a 4.1% increase, which is substantially higher than what we'll see in Social Security cost of living, as Jay says. Given low inflation, these increases are likely to be more than the COLA for Social Security, but it's somewhat difficult to tell at this point. So there you go. So be expecting a pretty significant increase in your Medicare Part B in 2020. All right, so Medigap changes in 2020, and this was dated, Jay sent this just, yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. July 26, 2020. Medigap plans C and F and high deductible F will no longer be available to new Medicare enrollees beginning in January 2020. However, that also means it will still be available to those enrolled in Medicare prior to Jan 1, 2020. If you're already enrolled in Medicare, you can still apply for these plans in 2020. You can switch from Plan F to Plan G, but your acceptance into Plan G is not necessarily a certainty. This will vary from carrier to carrier. In some states, this is guaranteed via special Medigap rules. Can you switch from Plan G to Plan F? Yes, there are reasons for this, but the difference may be fading. Plan F means that you do not have to administer or monitor the Part B deductible. Anecdotal evidence is that the lag time and error rate in verifying if you have met the Part B deductible are worsening. So if you're a high healthcare user or if you detest taking care of bills, the extra premium may be worth it. That is a private decision for the consumer. Guaranteed issue for Medigap will now include Plan G. This is a previously unpublicized, not even in my direct questions to carriers had an answer. That means if you're entitled to a special enrollment period to Medigap, that means you can also enroll in Plan G. Existing Plan F policy holders are unaffected. Your coverage will be changed in the future. There has been a lot of debate regarding future rate increases because being higher due to the fact there will be no new enrollees. I'm telling you, this is the thing I get concerned about with Plan F, and I am nowhere near an expert. I put two and two together. If you don't have new blood coming in, and the only blood in there is getting older and dying off, and older and sicker, inherently, doesn't that mean the premiums got to go up across the board? Because you don't have younger, healthier people coming in. You only have older, worsening, sicker people staying in there. I would think that would mean that to be true. But let's see. However, that entirely assumed that these pools were not changed in the past. That assumption is patently untrue. Carriers adjust the risk pools of policyholders now, so 2020 doesn't really represent a major change to the definition of risk pools. They adjust the risk pools of policy. I don't get that. I mean, I get what he's saying. 2020 doesn't necessarily have to happen, but what about 2025? No. I don't know. A stunning lack of clarity. The CMS and carriers have done a pretty poor job of making the details clear. Vaguely stating that plans that pay for Part B deductible will be discontinued is not nearly adequate enough. So that's what they're talking about. Plans in Medigap and Medicare supplements, the same thing. Vaguely stating that the plans that eliminate your deductible will be discontinued. That doesn't say much. Well, what does that mean? The reason it matters is that people who may have wanted to retire in order to access Medigap plans that cover Part B excess, plans F and G. See, this is why I need somebody like Jay or Danielle down there at Boomer Benefits. How can you possibly know this stuff? And I don't care if you're freaking, I was listening to podcasts on The Boglets, I didn't even know they had a podcast. My man Jack up in Fairfax, Virginia, Jack Zarinsky, but I think I pronounced his name wrong. It's not Ski, it's Zariski. I think it's what it is, Zariski, something like that. But anyway, he was telling me about the Boglehead podcast, and the guy on there was talking about Bill Bernstein and stuff, and they talk about the mathematics behind returns and stuff, and that's great for the academics, but how does the average Joe understand that? He can't. And same thing here. How does the average Joe understand? I mean, just listen to the sentence. So this is Jay. I mean, this is not Jay writing above our heads. This is how it works. The reason it matters is that people may have wanted to retire in order to access Medigap plans that cover the Part B excess, plans F and G. The newsletter wrote about the situation where Plan G was not part of Medigap guaranteed issue rights. This has been adjusted by the CMS to include Plan G, which does cover the Part B excess, and yet no information about this change was provided. I have no clue what that means. Part B excess, is that I guess that's a deductible? Is that the excess? I don't know. That's nuts. But anyway, so that's why it matters, because you don't know, I don't know. Only people like Jay would know, and that's why you need to talk. I mean, I don't get paid from Jay. I trust him. I like him, and he knows what the heck he's talking about. And that's why you need to go see someone like Jay as a broker who knows what the heck they're talking about. Part D dodges a big problem. POTUS canceled his proposal on prescriptions. The unintended result would have changed the way the math works inside the Part D coverage gap, e.g. the donut hole, or aka the donut hole. The net result would have been that people have remained inside the coverage gap for a longer period. That would have resulted in higher out-of-pocket costs for a longer period of time. So that means more expensive. So I guess Trumpster got rid of that. So that's good. 2020 will bring a different problem with those with high drug costs. We already know that the general form of Part D in 2020, the deductible increased to $435. Okay, so you're paying $35 a month and you got $435 deductible. The coverage gap is now wrongly named. Once you meet the deductible, you pay 25%. The remainder is paid by a combination of a discount from the pharmaceutical company and the Part D MAPD, Medicare Advantage Part D plan. I don't know what that means. The catastrophic coverage stage doesn't begin until you reach, you got a couple typos there, my man Jay. The catastrophic coverage stage doesn't begin until you reach 6350, which is much higher than it was in 2019. That means that people will remain in the coverage gap for a longer, costlier period of time. For people that always hit the catastrophic stage, that means out-of-pocket expenses will increase by as much as $1,250 a year. Yeah, I guess MAPD's got to be Medicare Advantage Part D choices, because he talks about re-examining Part D plans. That bottom line is that re-examining your Medicare Advantage Part D will become more sensitive in the future. All right, so individual health insurance 2020. Man, Jay is just a plethora of information here. Rate proposals are out. In a small surprise, there's evidence that individual health insurance premiums look to be stable and lower in 2020. Whoa. Of course, lower from way up here doesn't mean it's that big of a deal, but lower is better than higher. Why this is surprising? It is a small surprise because you would have thought that since the individual mandate has ended, there's no tax penalty if you don't have individual health insurance, that many people would have simply canceled and accepted the risk. Why this is not surprising? If people have not canceled in large numbers, then the variability of results is now much lower. Insurance prices are based on statistics, not politics. An important input is how much error exists, how far off the target does the hurricane hit. If you reduce the error and the rules are stable and clear, the carriers can compete on price, which they're very motivated to do. Well, that's good stuff, man. That's good. So individual health insurance premiums look like they're going down some. FAQ, how much are your fees? The fee for initial calls is always $0. If you simply want us to help you select and enroll in Medicare Advantage B or D or Medigap, he's got these L's in there. It's weird. So I'm not sure if he's fat fingering it or if it's just L show. That's weird, but he's got 3 extra L's in his email. Look, I make email stuff, so I'm not criticizing, but it's weird that every single error is always an extra L. If you use Jay in his group over there at Maximize Your Medicare, actually it's called GH3 Benefits. They don't charge you anything because the insurer pays them the commission. There can be instances when a one-time fee applies, but that is for the analysis of going through the complicated documents and financial matters. But we'd always state that in advance. He's got his Facebook. I recommended the Facebook book group. I mean, the Maximize Your Medicare Facebook community. You should, if you're on Facebook still, you should join it without question. It's a private group. So Jay said anyone who refers to me will get approved automatically. Me being Heritage Wealth Planning or your old buddy Josh. Anyway, I'm a big fan of Jay stuff, and you should too. So let's see how we go there. So you go to maximizeyourmedicare.com. It's this right here, right there, and then you sign up for the newsletter right there, free newsletter. And again, if you don't sign up for it, you're nuts. No other way around that, because it's the best. I mean, literally, I see this stuff in here. I'm like, oh, how can anyone keep track of this? But it's information that you need to know. I mean, it's your financial planning. We talk so much about investments, but the biggest risk is literally the health insurance. There's no other way around that. Again, I don't subscribe to the idea that we're all going to face the risk. Well, but we all do face the risk, but I don't subscribe to the fact that we're all going to succumb to it. I just subscribe to the fact that we all face it. So how do you deal with it? Well, you talk to someone like Jay and read his stuff, and it's nuts how much stuff this guy's got out there. It's crazy. I'd even talk to Jay about life insurance stuff too, in terms of if you get in-force illustration, you got cash value life insurance, you're not sure what to do. I mean, I can help in that regard, but I don't place life insurance. So I don't know what the carriers are doing anymore. I don't work with them. I'm not licensed anymore. I don't. I know enough to tell you that this thing is going to be dead before you are, which means the life insurance won't pay out and you lose all your money for what you put in the contract. All right, that's great, but what do we do to replace it? What do we do for annuities and stuff that you have outside of an IRA? We got pretty significant tax hurdles to clear if you were to cash that out. Well, you don't want to do that, but you do want to talk to a respectable guy. I don't know. I know Jay's licensed. I just don't know if he still does that. I don't know, but you definitely want to talk to him for sure, so you can take care of your Medicare, take care of your life insurance, and take care of your annuities. It makes sense to me, man, and he'll tell you what he gets paid. Absolutely. All right, maximizeyourmedicare.com. Sign up for Jay's newsletter. I literally don't get paid. He doesn't. It's not like that. I just want to bring you people who I find to be trustworthy, that I trust implicitly, that will know what the heck they're talking about, and that will listen to what you need, and then try to create a plan for that. So I highly recommend Jay and his group over there. All right, we'll see you next time.